Hey baddies! Welcome back to the Baddest You podcast, where every listen takes you to the baddest version of yourself. I am your baddie level up coach, Ambria Hearty, and today we are getting into don't go back to your ex, learn your lesson, and move on. Make sure you guys follow me on my Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Ambria Hearty. Follow the Baddest You podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, and let's get into this week's episode. So it is around Valentine's Day, and I thought, what better episode than to remind you guys not to go back to that past situationship, to that ex, or maybe that person you think about so much, but is it really meant for you anymore? The first thing you guys need to know when it comes to moving on from your ex, not going back to your ex, is understanding that they were only a lesson to love yourself more. A lot of times when we are in relationships with people, you've heard this before, they can be for a season or a lifetime. And most times when it comes to exes, they're for a season. I think that our relationships are the best ways that we can grow into the better versions of ourselves. Because when we face a relationship where maybe we were giving too much, we're learning how to receive in our next relationship. Maybe we're chasing all the time. We're learning how to see ourselves as the prize. Whenever you're facing a relationship where someone is not giving you the love you were meant to receive, 9 times out of 10, you're there because you're meant to love yourself. This person was a lesson, which means anytime you interact with this person moving on, you will find that you are in this repetitive cycle, begging them to change, begging things to happen differently. But it's not because this person necessarily is in the wrong, which they probably are, but it's because you are meant to grow from their lack of doing right. That person who's emotionally unavailable, you're learning how to choose somebody who's emotionally available next time. Everything is a lesson. And so something that happens when you look at the higher perspective of a situation, when you look at the higher perspective of being with someone or leaving a situation behind, you get a sense of closure that's outside of this person having power over me and I don't know how to move forward. It's about the universe of God, spirit, the divine, right? Take it as it resonates, giving you this person as a gift, right? As a lesson to be able to love yourself better. Because what happens, baddies, when you start to love yourself better, you attract better. We've all been there, right? We begged somebody to change. We'd hope things were different. But it was because that person wasn't meant to change. You were meant to change. You were meant to have stronger boundaries. You were meant to see your worth through this situation. And so what does it look like for you to grow in spite of a person and then try to go back to them later? It's a huge disservice to yourself. And so that's why it's so important, baddies, to understand they were simply a lesson, okay? The reason why it did not work out was because it was not supposed to. You were supposed to learn how to love yourself. You were supposed to learn how to see yourself as an individual that is worthy of way more than that person was giving you. So whether this was a narcissistic individual, whether this person was emotionally unavailable, you gained you in the process. So just understand, baddies, that you leaving this person behind will always be a gain for you and never a loss. We have to remember that we are the one, right? You are the one. A lot of times when people leave relationships, they're like, well, I thought me and that person were going to be together forever. I thought this was going to be my future husband or wife. I thought they were the one. You are the one. The point is bettering yourself. It's about being better than you were before. It's about being better because you learned your lesson from this individual. Because every single time somebody hurts you and you get back up, you become better. Every single time you learn something from a relationship or you learn something in spite of a person or individual, you get better. And you being better means you start attracting better. So just remember, baddies, you are the one. You experienced a situation because you were meant to be a better version of yourself as a result, and you were meant to be a more self-loving version of yourself. You grew in spite of whatever this person didn't do correctly. And that is the reason why you were with them, because it's about your growth, your self-development. And a lot of times we go through unfortunate situations, but because we're gaining ourselves in the process, we're learning from the past situations and the process. So this person was just that, a lesson. One of my favorite things to say is thank you so much for this person, but I release them with love and light. I release them back to the universe. Thank you for sending me this person for me to heal, for me to evolve, for me to understand my worth. I know who I am now, and I'm going to keep moving forward. And you might attest to this, but every heartbreak only makes you hotter, right? Every single time you go through something, it makes you more attractive, literally, right? You have to stay leveled up, baddies. You have to stay in the gym. You shouldn't just allow yourself to sit and feel sad and waste more of your life because of a person who wasn't even meant to be there long term. You gained yourself. You gained a new level of awareness of who you are. Run with that, right? Get hotter, get more attractive. You know who you are now, right? You understand what you deserve, which means you are now available for so much better. So the next time somebody wants to do something, you see, no, thank you, I'm not available for that. Stay leveled up, baddies. Stay focusing on yourselves. See yourself as the main person that you want to gain in the situation. So make sure you are eating healthy. Make sure you're going to the gym, right? Be the hot ex, right? When people look at your social media, oh my gosh, you left her? What's wrong with you, right? That's how you want them to perceive you, not the person who's sad and just wasting their life away, right? And don't get me wrong, feel your feelings, feel every feeling, take all the time you need, but you have to get back up, baddie, because you're the hot ex, don't forget, right? And you also have a future partner who's waiting for you because of all the lessons you've learned, because of the person you developed into, because of the lessons, because of the self-love that you have gained because of this individual who couldn't give you what you deserve. So it's so important to remember that you are not lacking love because this person is no longer in your life. You always have you. And if you feel like you're lacking love, you should definitely start loving yourself better. So stay leveled up, because your next person is going to come in and they're going to want to see their divine dream woman or dream person when the time is right. So the sooner you move on, the sooner you start working towards moving on. That's another thing. Moving on is a choice. Moving on doesn't necessarily just happen with time. You have to decide to move on. You have to decide to be better. You have to decide not to go back to a person that hurt you and didn't give you what you deserve. You are better than that. You are so much better than that. And there's an amazing individual out there who's ready to give you every single thing that you want. Stay focused on the future. Stay focused on who you became. So you're telling me you went through all that for what? Just to go through it again? No, you went through that because there is better out there for you. So you have to know and believe that. You have to really trust that the universe, that God, the spirit, that the divine has something better for you, because they do, because you're better. You're literal proof that there is better out there for you. And let's be real, you being with this person in the first place, you were doing charity work. You lowered your standards to be with this individual, most likely. You lowered yourself down to let this person, trample all over you? I don't think so. So what is there to miss when it comes to this individual who didn't give you what you deserve? When it comes to this individual who made you question yourself, make you feel less than, made you second guess the true baddie that you are? What is there to go back to? Nothing. Anything that you're looking for in another person is something that you are most likely needing within yourself, which means it's time for more self-love, which means it's time for you to honor yourself more. It's time for you to listen to yourself more. It's time for you to build yourself up more into the baddest version of yourself. Going back to this person only repeats the lesson, right? They were brought into your life to mistreat you so that you could be better, so that you could elevate, so that you could know better, so that you could say, you know what, I deserve better. And you could be angry and you could be upset. And I'm not victim blaming here, let's be real. But I'm talking about the fact that you have full power in this situation, even when you feel like you don't. Even if the way that they left made you feel a deep sense of injustice, even if you gave, and you felt like you didn't get anything back, that next person you're going to receive is going to give you everything you want, plus more. But you have to understand that you going back to them is only going to repeat the lesson, especially if you leveled up and you're like, I love myself now. I see my worth now. I'm beautiful. I'm attractive. I've been working on myself. Why would you reward this person, this trash individual, let's be real, who was already not on your level in the first place, with a even better version of yourself? What, to trample you down again? No, you've learned your lesson, and you have to show the divine that you've learned your lesson in order to attract better. Life is like a For You page. You receive what you are available for. So if you keep telling yourself the story that, oh, I can't find better, oh, this person was the best I'll have, that's going to be true. You won't find better because you're not available for it. So you have to tell yourself and make a choice of course there's better for me. Of course there's more for me. How could somebody so divine as me not have better? I didn't go through all of these horrible, harsh experiences for me to settle for less. I deserve more. And the only person that's going to give you that is yourself. And so you have to see yourself clearly as the baddie you are, as the person who deserves the best. You have to work on yourself, be a better version of yourself, be educated, go back to school, get that degree. You have to find yourself building your business. You have to find yourself working in the gym. You have to find yourself on that self-care routine, working on that meditation, listening to those affirmations, listening to the Baddest You podcast, right? Being the absolute best version of yourself, because you owe it to yourself to give yourself everything that this person couldn't. And if you expect, oh, maybe this person changed, or maybe, listen, you changed. And that's the only thing that you needed. You don't need to go back to situations that were not serving you when there is better on the way. And like I said, baddies, feel your feelings. You can feel sad. But one thing that I like to imagine is that whenever I'm in those moments where it's so overwhelming and I'm so anxious or I'm so sad about something, my higher self is thriving because they know I'm learning a lesson. They know that I'm moving towards better. They understand that even in the now when it looks like there's no way out, that this is my breakthrough. Because sometimes, baddies, you cannot come out of a situation unless you're a different version of yourself. You're literally meant to change for the better. The hot ex, right? You're meant to elevate. You can't be the same person who feels sorry for themselves, who accepts bare minimum treatment, who wishes people could change and just feel like victimized and, well, why can't I just get what I want? And my dad didn't love me, my mom didn't love me. No, you're supposed to say, I deserve better, so I'm going to give myself better. I will not accept less than. I will not give myself to people who do not deserve my energy. You're going to learn and have standards and have boundaries that support the worth that you know you have. And you're only going to allow people who add to you, who value you, who truly see you and give you what you deserve to have access to you. So your higher self is thriving, okay? The best version of yourself, the you that you strive to be, they are thriving right now. They're looking at you like, oh my gosh, look at how she's about to level up through this situation. Remember, baddies, leveling up is a choice. What's the point of doing all this work just to go back? You deserve so much better. You are better. You are the world. You deserve everything and you can have anything that you want, but it's fully in your own hands. And so sometimes people stay in situations with that person from low self-worth and they don't get out of that. The universe isn't just going to give you better. You have to decide to be better. You have to decide, I deserve more in order to receive more. So instead of begging another person who didn't give you anything to give you more, you give yourself more and you don't accept less. And so you cannot go back to the garbage, to the trash and try to pick up and find gold. I know one man's trash is another man's treasure, but baby, you are the treasure. You get what I'm saying? You are the prize. And so the second that you start valuing yourself, you will start attracting much better in life. And the universe supports baddies who have the confidence to believe in themselves and the confidence to believe in better. So you better not go back to that ex who does not deserve you and didn't deserve you in the first place. What are you rewarding them for? Giving access to you is a privilege. Being in your presence is a privilege. Having access to you, to your number, to anything about you is a privilege. And you don't need to say, well, why didn't they see that? Why didn't they? Because they weren't supposed to, baddie, because they were a lesson for you to see yourself in this way now. You owe it to yourself to only allow people who truly love you, who truly see you and truly value you to have access to you moving forward. And finally, baddies, you don't miss them. You long for the treatment you wish they could have given you. But what if I told you that treatment is on the way? If you just look ahead, if you just see into the future just a little bit. Because I always like to say this. Imagine a situation in which you just broke up with somebody. There's two versions of yourself. There's so many different realities you could choose, but there's two versions of yourself. There's a version of yourself that chooses to stay stuck, that allows their feelings to make them feel like there's nothing that's going to be better for them and that they're not lovable and that they can't have this and that they were the best that they can have and I can't believe they left me and they just chose another girl right away. Or you could be the you that's like, well, I guess this just wasn't meant for me, right? I could still be sad. I can be heartbroken. I can feel horrible. But I'm going to be better. I refuse to stay stuck because of this individual. I will go to the gym. I will get my education. I will focus on my business. I will focus on my body and my health. I will be the absolute best version of myself because I know that I deserve better and I will receive that. So when you're thinking about the memories and the past, think about the times where they didn't give you what you want. Think about the times where they didn't give you what you deserve. Do you see how hard changing is, right? You, an emotionally intelligent baddie, have the capacity to do that, but people can only meet you as far as they met themselves. So if you had taken all this time to do the healing, taken all this time to be self-aware and to understand your worth and your value, do you think this person has the capacity to do that? Right? Probably not, which means they probably didn't change. And just because you are now better, became what, more worthy, doesn't mean they're going to change. Because you being more worthy doesn't make people value you more. The only thing that makes people value you is you valuing yourself. And the thing that's going to make them value you is you no longer allowing access to you in the first place. So remember, baddies, you are the one. You are the prize. You didn't lose anything. You didn't lose a damn thing in this situation. You only gained yourself. So when I look at all of the stats here, it's only a win, a win, a win for you. Don't go back in the garbage can and try to pick something up when there's a bright knight in shining armor that's going to inevitably sweep you up, give you all the treatment you deserve, and give you everything that you could possibly want if you just kept going and had the courage to move forward. All right, baddies, so don't go back to your ex, learn the lesson, and move on. Thank you guys so much for checking out this week's episode of the Baddest You podcast. I'm your baddie level up coach, Ambria Heart Tea. Make sure you guys follow me on my Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Ambria Heart Tea. Follow the Baddest You on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And I will see you beautiful and amazing baddies later. Bye, guys. Mwah.